Hello and welcome to the big picture. The civil aviation industry continues to go through a crisis even as one of the most talked about airline, the Kingfisher Airlines operations license is suspended. While the problems facing the Kingfisher has been seen as a combination of poor management as well as industry unfriendly policies, the larger problem facing the airline industry in general is also something which is causing a lot of concern. The latest figures of the drop in passenger traffic by over 12% in September compared to last year is also seen as a warning signal of an impending crisis which can hit all the airlines. Air India continues to struggle despite the huge bailout packages, even as new plans are being made to bifurcate its operations. The passengers are a harried lot as the fares are no more as friendly as it used to be. What are the reasons behind these problems? We will discuss all this today while looking at how the aviation industry can get out of its present crisis and also avert a bigger crisis in the future. Understand what how the passengers behave. There has been this report recently saying that there has been a more than 12% drop in passenger traffic, domestic passenger traffic. Is this because of Kingfisher's?
No.
How far has Kingfisher affected the civil aviation industry in general?
See, mainly, as rightly mentioned by Mr. Sanat Kaul, that if the airfares are high, then there will be shrinkage in the growth.
Right.
So what is happening, we've not had any new airline coming into the country or new players coming into the country. What has happened, the low cost carriers like Air Deccan, like Sahara, all these have been absorbed by the bigger carriers.
Right.
Now,
and not so successfully.
Not so successfully. Secondly, in every country, there has been a crisis as far as airlines are concerned. But in countries like America, we have a Chapter 11, where before going into bankruptcy, an airline can negotiate with the people they owe money to or the organizations and come up with a plan. And the government also gives a little thing, giving them an opportunity to come back. Now we don't have a long-term transparent aviation policy. It has always been an ad hocism based on the civil aviation minister or the secretary of civil aviation at that particular time. So now with FDI coming in,
right,
FDI announcement of FDI alone is not enough.
Right.
We need to look at the ATF because this is the direct operating cost of an airline. The aviation turbine fuel is something like 30 to 40% of the direct operating cost of the airline. So within the country, so the result is from the tourism point of view, today outbound tourism is 12.5 million and inbound is only less than 6 million.
Really?
So reason is it is cheaper for an Indian
to travel abroad,
to go and set up a conference in Bangkok or Sri Lanka or Malaysia or Singapore than to do it in Cochin or to do it anywhere in India.
Anywhere in India.
So what is happening that...
And this you think is essentially because of the pricing of the passenger?
Because there is no coordination. We have a stupid policy that we are trying to create jobs in neighboring countries rather than creating jobs in our own country. Because wherever conferences are held, tourists are held, hotels come up, then hotels lead, it has a multiplier effect on the economy.
Yes.
So I think it is high time, this Kingfisher crisis is a wake-up call, right? We have to wake up and we have to have, because the economy of the country and tourism, the whole development of the country, the future of the country depends on these two things.
Okay. Mr. Goyal, should we have a national carrier at all is one of the questions which Paul is raising and many people keep raising this all the time. But does Air India bring some kind of relief to the passengers?
No, I'm just putting the things in the correct perspective.
Okay.
First is the PPP thing which you talked about.
Right.
I think it is very important because we used to feel ashamed and when we entered our airports.
Absolutely.
Today we have a world-class airport.
Right.
Now the reason the CAG report, we are a country where we try to diagnose things after the event. You see, we have to make things crystal clear before the event. You see, that is why I am saying that we don't have a long-term aviation policy whereby things,
that is what
whereby
is
things are transparent. Now what happens is decisions are taken, an airport is built, and now you are trying to find fault. Secondly, when you reduce the passenger fee, which is good, I think I compliment the minister, but at the same time, we should not allow the airport to increase the charges for airlines.
That is what is happening.
Because
parking, landing charges.
So if the landing charges and all go up, then again the aviation operation becomes difficult.
Ultimately the passenger will have to pay the burden.
Not only that, more airlines which are wanting to come to India or to Delhi, when they will work out their break-even analysis, they will say, no, it's not a profitable route.
Right.
So ultimately, you see, we have to put our act together. We have to think and how we will make aviation grow.
Okay.
An airline like Kingfisher, this should not be allowed for any other airline. And secondly, whatever punishment you want to give to the individual, whether it's Vijay Mallya or anyone, but the institution, just like we did with Satyam, you see,
that
the
needs
institution
to be
should be revived.
Revived, okay.
Revived because the prestige of India.
Absolutely.